Okay, I'm Marla Waters, and I'm here interviewing Cyndi Cantell. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background in the hospitality industry?
Yes, I started in the hospitality industry back in 1993. Started as a server at Buffalo's, and then I moved up really fast with them, became a bartender, was there for a few years. I had a company recruit me, Sidelines, which I've worked for many years. They recruited me to work at their store because they didn't have any female bartenders, so I worked there, and I was there. I was with that company for about 3.5 years, and then I got married, and we moved away because my husband was in the military, and I worked for Outback for about 3.5 years while we were gone. We were in Massachusetts, and then we were in Fort Knox, and I worked with them. But then when I came back, they still had the same company, so I started working back with them because I, stepped back into a job where I could, just jump in and bartend. Worked for them for 7 years. Over those 7 years, I moved up to bar manager, and then I was promoted to general manager, and then they sold the business and to different people, and then they branched out, and there was different restaurants that I worked in the whole time. I did leave that company for a few years and worked at a different restaurant called Bogey's, but then I ended up going back to that company and worked. I probably a total, 10 years, and now I'm back with Sidelines again. I just started working with them again, so.
Okay, great. What do you do during a normal day of work, and what do you dislike and like about your work days?
When I was general managing, it was constant. My phone was going off. It was, your whole life is work. Now that I got out of the general managing and I'm back into bartending, it's not as bad.
Okay.
So I go in, and the only thing I love it. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy interacting with people. I enjoy all of that. The only thing that bothers me sometimes is, because I do some late nights now, and that makes me tired. But besides that, I love my job. I enjoy the hospitality industry. I like I like the ability to be able to have time off, to spend time with your family, to be able to, rearrange your schedule and not be confined to a 9 to 5.
Right. Right. Okay, what particular skills or talents are most essential to be effective in your industry, and how did you learn these skills?
The most effective skills, and I've always told everybody this, is that it's 99% personality.
Okay.
You just have to be able to interact and treat people the way that you want to be treated, to be nice to them, to, and hey, even when you're having a bad day, you got to pretend like you're not having a bad day,
Right.
and you got to make everybody else feel good. So with me, that's, yes, you have to be able to multitask. You have to be able to, remember things and all that. And yes, that's very, very important. But people that like you and people that enjoy being around you will give you a little bit of leniency when you have a bad day. They're like, okay, you're just having a bad day. But, you have to have a personality. Nobody wants to go out and eat and have a bad experience because somebody is, not happy or... So it has to be personality, I think, is the biggest.
That's great advice. Okay, with all of your experience as a manager of numerous restaurants, I'm sure you've hired and let go of many employees. When searching for future employees to work at the companies that you've been running, what characteristics did you look for in these people, and what is a red flag to not hire the candidate?
Okay. Personality is always key. The ability to be able to talk to somebody, look you in the eyes, and during the interview.
Right.
I'll tell you one thing as a manager. The first thing, if you come in to fill out your application, you don't have a pen, you're not getting the job.
Okay.
Because you're not prepared. Yeah, you're not prepared. So if you don't come in prepared, then why am I going to hire you?
Yeah.
So that's a huge thing. So let anybody know if you're looking for a server's job.
I'll be sure to share that
have
information.
a pen. And then not only that, but anybody that's mild mannered, quiet, And in this business, it helps to have experience. Even if it's some background, just a Hardee's or whatever, just some background where you have experience with dealing with people. So.
Okay. And to add on to that, what are particular reasons you would need to let go of current employees, and how do you recommend handling that situation?
I've had to do that with employees that I really, really liked. But the thing is that people that you really, really like will be the ones that take advantage of you the most.
Right.
And so, I actually remember firing somebody, and she didn't believe it. It's like, I've written you up, I've told you over and over again. This is not personal, it's work. So, nothing. Firing is never easy.
Right.
Never at all. It's bad. So.
Okay, from personal experience as a server, every day doesn't always go smoothly working in the hospitality industry. Could you please describe a time in your work history involving an unsatisfied customer or employee? What went wrong and how did you handle that situation? I'm sure you have many of them, so.
Yes, I do. I'm trying to pick out one that's particularly. I had this couple that came in. Actually, there was a group of them, and they were extremely belligerent. They were, and they weren't even. They came in normal.
Okay.
But it was a parent and then a daughter, and the daughter was the one that was driving. But then she was the one that attacked all of us, was yelling at us, and I'm like, listen. I was like, I don't know what's going on, why you're so upset. I was like, but you're disturbing everybody else. We're gonna have to ask you to leave. I was like, and I even said, I'll take care of you next time you come in. I was like, but right now, this moment, this situation is not working. Okay. And you're causing a problem where, it's affecting everybody else here, and I just cannot let that happen.
So basically, you just handle it as smoothly as possible.
Yes, without causing a huge scene,
Okay. Let's see. Looking back, I guess this is not really. Looking back, would you change the way you responded to the situation? I guess it's not
there
really.
There wasn't really much that could
Right, there's not much more different. That's understandable. Okay, what has been your biggest professional achievement thus far in your years in the hospitality industry? What would you have to do prior to this achievement to get you to arrive to this goal?
My biggest achievement is paying for my kids' school. I mean, that's the only thing. That's the only thing that matters to me. That's why I'm in it. That's why I do it. I mean, it's good money. I mean, it's money you have. That's the only reason.
Right. When I was in the hospitality industry, the biggest reason is walking out the door with cash.
It's walking out with cash. It's good money. Yeah.
Great. Okay. I believe in this industry, the way others perceive you is extremely important. If I was to ask your past employees to describe your best and worst characteristics as a manager, what do you think they would say?
Let's see. My worst would be I'm a little easy. I let people get by with stuff. And then I
maybe agree.
Yes, and then not only that, but I do a lot for them. Like, you could be sitting there talking, I'm going to be cleaning your table or making food. I'm going to yell at you after, but I'm still going to do it. My best characteristic, I think, is that I listen, and I try to make sure that, everybody's happy and, make sure they have a good work environment and they want to come back.
Great.
So.
Okay, if you were to leave the hospitality industry, which industry would you have interest in working in next? Are there any similarities between the two that you enjoy about your current job that you'd want in the next?
My next job would be retirement. There would be no.
So if you had any other choices, you would just stick with this until the end and retire with.
If I'd have chosen a different direction, then I wouldn't have chosen the hospitality industry. But at this point in my life, when I'm done with the hospitality industry, I'm done.
Okay. Did you receive a degree before entering to this field? If so, how do you believe this helped you in your career? If you did not, do you believe that it would have been helpful when beginning your career? And do you believe success in this industry is based more hands-on or having a degree?
I did not receive a degree. I had an uncle that was paying my way through school, and they got divorced. They couldn't pay for it anymore, so I was away from my family, away from my home. They didn't have the money, so I got in the industry for that reason.
Okay.
And so no, I did not finish my degree. And I would have chosen to be a teacher, so nothing that I would have done would have affected, this situation. I would have never, ever chosen this, it's not something that I would have decided, this is what I want to grow up to be.
Okay.
And success in this industry is definitely hands-on. I mean, you have to be involved, you have to be
So you don't
committed.
believe that a degree is really...
A degree has nothing to do with it.
It's more experience with being the manager.
Experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what would your suggestions be for someone if they wanted to follow in your footsteps with their future career path? Would you suggest for them to do so? And what would you warn them to expect working in the industry, good or bad?
I would say no. Go to school, get a degree, that way you have benefits, you have, the ability to have a steady income, because the restaurant industry is fickle.
Right.
I mean, sometimes it's amazing and you make ridiculous money, then you have the months where it's slow and people don't come in. So and there's no retirement. I mean, I'm not saying there's no retirement. In some of the bigger companies, if you get into like Chick-fil-A and Outback and some of those, but it takes a while to get into that position and you have to sacrifice a lot. And I mean, you're talking 70, 80 hours a week if you're a general manager.
Right.
And then so you sacrifice your family. No, go to school, get a degree, so you can do something where you can work a regular schedule, work Monday through Friday, and then have time with your family. Because you cannot raise I'm not saying you cannot, because I've worked opposite shifts with my husband, but I just feel like you would have more quality time with your family if I'd chosen a different path.
Right.
And I would suggest that everybody chooses a different path than this.
Well, that's great advice. Okay, well, thank you so much for taking
You're
the
welcome.
time. I really appreciate it. And that will conclude the interview.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Ooh.